to all of us. You see, this life itself is fallen, broken, filled with sorrows, and it's all heading to the grave in the natural. This life in the natural, without God, is a funeral procession. Because it's all heading to the grave no matter what. If you don't have God, that's it. People live in this life, live their lives as if it was a funeral procession, living in sorrow, living in following the course of death, depressed, living, following dead things, beating themselves like in there, singing the same old song in their life, repetition song, repeating the same thing again. With some people withdrawing from life, professional mourners going through people going through ritual, just the same thing over and over again. It's a procession there of sorrow. It's like a funeral procession. We don't even realize even believers may have these same patterns. Many of our behaviors in life are behaviors of mourning over a long period of time. It's restrained, but it's still mourning. A long-term sorrow or a long-term weeping, a long-term mourning for what was once in your life but's not there, or something you lost, or what was done to you, what people did to you, or what you were abandoned, or what happened to your family, whatever it happened, your calamity. You're in mourning, but you may not realize it, but going through life like that. It's like a big funeral procession. Everybody who's alive now is going this way. The Lord doesn't come beforehand. But Messiah, here's the good news. Messiah came to ruin funerals, to stop the funeral procession, says, I will turn your mourning into gladness. That's what it says in the Bible. Very much about that. The power of Messiah is the power to ruin funerals, to bring hope out of despair, to take sorrow, turn it into joy. When Messiah first performed that miracle in Nain, you can imagine they first had to be shocked. Some people didn't believe it. They first were could be afraid by that. And before they rejoiced. Often that's how we are with the miracle of God. We are first not believing, or we first keep going on in the old thing. The resurrection has come. The resurrection is the ruining of every funeral. It's the ruining of the funeral of this world. The resurrection came, and we often are still living as if we're in a funeral procession, dreading the future, mourning over what happened in our life, what we don't have, where things are going, where things were. But Messiah has ruined the funeral. So we have to get out of the procession. It's a big thing to get out of the procession, because those people there, think of it, they had all these customs were built on the procession. All their jobs, some people had their jobs built on it. They're making money, they're earning, this is their life. We get it by being in the procession. And they're just going on. The preparers spent a lot of time washing the body of that boy, putting on spices, napkins, arrangement, folding all that, make him look very nice. And then Messiah speaks to him and ruins the whole thing. All the arrangement is gone. It's everything we had in a nice order gone. Often we're more comfortable with dead things that are in order than live things that are not. See, what's alive is rarely comfortable. What's dead is comfortable because there it is. Something's dead, it's not moving. I got everything in my life, and when you are this is my life, I have it in this order, then if it never changes, it's dead. The Bible says where the ox is, when the ox is in the stall is a mess. But it says much gain comes with the ox. Translation, things that are alive make a mess. Things that are dead do not. Things that are alive make a mess. You have a child, you have a baby, makes a mess, but it's alive. You are married to another person, it's messy, but it's alive. You have a walk in the Lord that's alive, it's messy, but it's alive. So it's saying, but it says, but much gain comes through the ox. So in other words, it's better to have the messiness of something that's really alive, unpredictability, having something really alive than having something that's comfortable and dead. And that's true in everything. And look at churches. So many churches have become funeral processions, and I mean that. I mean, you look over some of the historic churches that have long ago lost his presence, and they're all just going through the motions. It's a funeral procession. There's no life. Why? They let the life go. And it's not messy. It's very orderly, but there's no life. And see, that's so God has to do a new work. And when he does a new work, you look at church history. God does something, people come alive, then a few generations later, they've all organized it. Not that organization's wrong, but they've got it all down there where they got everything down, and God says, I can't even do anything here. So I'm going out the door. And then he starts a new movement. And people say, what's going on? This is a mess. What's going on? It's alive, all that. What's going on? And then a little later, that becomes, dead. Not that it has to be, but it often does. And God does a new thing, and the new thing is always the thing that people are saying, what's going on? This is out of order. And there is order in God, but there's life. You want everything neat, life doesn't work like that, and God does not work like that. God is the God of surprises. God follows his order, but part of his order is being God, and God is always doing a new thing within us. He will always do a new thing. That's why he says, sing a new song. I want something new. He says, why do you ponder the old things? Behold, I will do a new work. And so, you have the procession, you have the proclaimer, the guy who's walking ahead, and he's the eloquent one, and he's going on saying this deceased, he was a great person, and they're going, hey, listen,